Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Core Podcast episode thingy. Yep, there it is. Episode 27. SOLIDWORKS For Makers. We got Sean O'Neill with us from SOLIDWORKS. And,
hey, what's up, guys?
Our boy Jonny joined us today.
Hi. I remembered.
Jonny, do you just no call, no show these days? Is that the joke?
No.
You just don't show up.
I forgot to let him introduce himself.
I started my user group 6 months ago, and I might have forgot to go any of the catch-up sessions yet. But we're getting there. We'll get there.
The only way to go is up.
Yeah, I can't let anyone down any more than I have, so we're all good.
Nah, you're good. You're good.
That's awesome. We've got quite a few people joining us tonight already. We've got Brandon in there, Eric, John, Matrician. I got it right this time. Impact Props. Awesome to see you guys. Good fun. How you doing, Sean? How's life there in Philly?
It's good. I always appreciate the Philly connection with you guys. It's semi-random.
It feels like a second home to me.
Yeah. We know it so well, Kirby, you know?
Well, we know that terminal very well.
I know, you guys do. You guys love the airport. It's like the worst airport on the East Coast.
It treated us well, I'll be honest. We enjoyed it, didn't we, Kirby? All half hour of it.
I mean, it's probably a bit better than like Newcastle Airport.
Whoa, I don't know. Like Newcastle Airport has a hell of a bar.
Yeah, it's not that I don't hate on the airport altogether. Like, there's some cool spots, like you said, Jonny, to grab a drink or whatever in the Philly airport. I think what it is though is like, I guess you guys didn't see this part, but like if you fly in and then you actually get out of the airport, like when you're leaving, the welcome to Philadelphia sign is horrible. Like, it looks like it's from the 50s. And for Philly is so cool, and there's so many spots and there's so much history that I just feel like to have that be your entranceway into the city, which is where I was born, by the way. I was born and I lived in the actual city for like my whole childhood and everything. I just feel like it doesn't do it justice, but I'm glad you guys are repping it anyway.
No, we rep it regularly. Even though we haven't ever left the airport. But
I feel like we should go back and actually have a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, we got to go back, Kirby. You know, we got to visit Sean and Dan and hang out for some time and do Philly properly.
For the city. I mean, I don't know what there is to see in Philly other than their cheesesteaks.
I would say we should have, like you guys were just mentioning user groups. We have a pretty, like, at SOLIDWORKS, our headquarters in America anyway is in Waltham, so that's right outside of Boston, Massachusetts. But we have a pretty good office actually in Radnor, which is it's like 40 minutes outside of Philly. The reason I say that though is because we actually have like a really big like event center there. So like one day we should just have like a massive user group meeting there. I always tell Dan, like, now that office is reopened and like, you know, things are kind of reopened around there just generally, it would be a pretty good idea.
Like, any reason to go to the States, we are game.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, you're on here because something cool has happened with SOLIDWORKS, something that...
I was like, why am I here? What am I doing here?
Remind us.
And that's the first time Kirby's told me.
He does that. You'll get
like, all right, I'm going to tell you why you're here now, Sean.
Yeah, but with us, you never know if it's the reason we actually invited you for or something totally different.
Hey, whatever. We'll see. We'll see how I can jump around, how flexible I am.
You're probably wondering why I all gathered you here today, Sean.
Right.
Yeah, you released the Makers Edition, all sneaky.
Yeah, so there's a lot of terms for that. I think there's I've heard soft launch, I've heard rolling launch, product management professionals. I found they you guys have probably heard some of those too, but it's like it's almost like every year there's like a new term that comes out. But you're right, it's interesting. It's one of those things where, like you said, sneaky. If you Google it, it's there. You can get it today. I think, but yeah, it's interesting. It's stuff that I've been excited to show for a while. So I'm glad to talk about a little bit here. Can you guys, let's see, is there the camera, you're saying the camera's a little bit funny?
Yes, there's a little bit of a lag. If you go to like the cam mic settings under your camera, advanced settings, change the quality of camera.
I'm glad you said that, Kirby, because I thought it was just my computer, but we're good. It's not me.
Let's do
punching it a little bit.
It might be because I was uploading 8 gigs.
Here we go. I mean, he's saying we're like we're second priority here, Kirby. That's what I'm hearing.
No, it wasn't me. My computer was doing it. Let me do. So it's on 48p. Actually, is it any better now? I just turned that off, or is it still bad?
It's a couple of seconds, but it should be.
All right. Well, let me see. Let me try to do. Let me do.
You know what? It might just be because he's across the water, Kirby.
How's that?
Oh, damn.
That was a lot. What
happened?
Still
yeah, I'm like, I changed it to here. Let me sit back. I just changed it to 360p, so maybe that's a little bit better.
Oh, we're going like 2002 style.
Yeah, this is like really low down.
You gonna start singing Maya He?
Yeah, like I feel like I'm in a very remote location at this point. Minecraft
Sean.
No, but all jokes aside, is this any better, or is this still bad?
Yeah, you've caught up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll roll with that.
Yeah,
as long as it's doable. But no,
your video could be horrendous as long as the sound is good. People can talk.
That's true.
When it's the other way around, that's when people kind of don't like to listen.
Sean. Yeah, it's true. That is a good point. But no, I guess before I was trying to fix that. So we released the Maker Edition. You'll see a lot more public action soon. So thanks for putting the link there. So that Discover page is pretty cool because I think for a lot of reasons. One, it's a very video rich site. So I was lucky enough to have a good hand in helping to produce a lot of the videos there. You'll probably recognize my voice on 3 of them. Just kind of explaining the 3 main CAD packages, which I can talk about in a moment, that are included in the offer. But besides me, you also see some cooler faces and voices as well. So namely, the first video you'll see on that page is actually featuring the Hacksmith. So I know a lot of makers watch your channel, so you probably know of the Hacksmith. And then you'll see, I saw Brad from Impact Props in the chat. So you'll see Brad kind of talking about why he thinks the Maker offer is, pretty timely and something he's excited about, as well as Virtual Flat CAD, Rob Maldonado, who I think is also a friend of the show.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't expect my face in there as well with Brad's video.
You're in there. You're in there. And then you're also in the main video too. So the cool thing about the Hacksmith video, which we can talk about more, however you guys want to do it, but one of the cool things that I was really excited about is you guys know, and I think if anyone who's watched the podcast before with me on it knows that, one of the things I do here is I run the SOLIDWORKS Champions program. And one of the coolest things I've had the opportunity to do, like while running the Champions program, is just to make it so that, more people have access to do cool things in the SOLIDWORKS community, sort of at a close knit level where we're like really breaking down barriers and walls. And this was one of the ways. You guys know, like 3 of us, we love making videos, love making content and stuff. Yeah. And one of the things I was I was just so excited to do it, like just showing off, because a lot of us have done hobbyist projects with however we got SOLIDWORKS over the years. Before I worked at SOLIDWORKS, like even just like training on learning how to model and stuff like that, like going through the tutorials, like you'd have to find like your company's seat or just do something like that. But even like if it was like a home project, like remodeling, or if it was like anything you were making, like a 3D printed jig or just something cool for your house, you would use SOLIDWORKS for that kind of stuff. So I just knew we have almost 400 champions in the program now, and, people from over 40 countries now in the program. And I just thought this is such a cool way to show off like what you guys have created, and get you guys kind of featured in a cool video. So you see your model there, and there's probably like 12 other ones that I happen to squeeze in there, or I should say with the Hacksmith there. So yeah, if you go like kind of right in the middle, so you'll see that's the plasma saber. There's Ivan's roof rack, and So I have shared with the wooden clock. Harry's with this pump thing, which is crazy. John's cigar box guitars, which are legendary. Tom's playing there. Walter kind of doing a house remodel. Todd's 3D printed ski attachments for his dog. And then, of course, there you go, flexing. So
I mean, like,
this video is
all
cool.
of those projects that those people have made, that isn't those people's job. That's all of our just stuff that we mess around in our own time and have fun. And I think with how accessible 3D printing is and how accessible it is to just go onto websites like 3D Hubs and get something CNC milled without having to know much knowledge about CNCing. You don't have to, study it. You can just make a model, send it to a company. They'll tell you and help you out. They'll have guides on how to design for it. And this what's it? It's $10 a month. You can have access to these tools that we've made these kind of things on.
Yeah, so it's something when I learned about it here, I was super excited about, and I was so excited to share with you guys and everyone else. Yeah, and that link that you guys just put up on there, that where basically this video is and everything, basically right on the top there, like we said, it's kind of it's kind of right now we're just kind of getting it up on the site and everything like that. But there'll be a much more public launch, in the next couple of weeks. But you can actually get it now. So if you click the buy now link, it kind of takes you to this purchase portal, which I think is one cool thing about it. So basically, when you look at that, it takes you to this like e-commerce type area, which I know a lot of people that have been using SOLIDWORKS traditionally. And still today, it's like if you wanted to buy SOLIDWORKS, you would go through your local reseller. Yep. This actually just takes you right to a portal, so it's super, super easy.
Oh, it's cheaper in pounds, but this doesn't include taxes.
Yeah. So it's like you said, at least in US dollars. Obviously, it's local currency wherever you are, you can get it. But it's $9.99 US dollars per month, or $99 US dollars a year. And you get all that stuff, which is cool. It's crazy. Like you get, everyone knows SOLIDWORKS 3D CAD, but then you also get, so it's 3D Experience SOLIDWORKS, which is basically all the SOLIDWORKS CAD tools that you would probably use in your day job. And then it just basically saves and opens directly from the cloud. So that's really the big difference with 3D Experience SOLIDWORKS versus SOLIDWORKS 3D CAD on desktop. And then you can see here you have 3D Creator, which is the role or the package that contains XDesign, which is kind of cloud-based parametric modeling. And then you can see 3D Sculptor, which is kind of the sub-D push and pull type organic sculpting type modeling.
I like to look at this as kind of SolidWorks Lite. As in, you can do some of the basic, simple, quick modeling, but you can do it on a laptop. You can do it on a Mac, which I think some people are quite excited about. You can do it on the go.
That's an interesting way of saying it, and it's cool because SolidWorks, we all know, in the chat and on the show today, SolidWorks 3D CAD, it has it has a lot of different types of modeling tools, right? So you have your standard 3D modeling tools, your solid modeling tools, surface modeling tools, where you're basically making curves or kind of going from curves or edges to make individual faces that you might turn into a solid. And this is just the 3D stuff, right? You have Weldment, sheet metal, mold tools, all that stuff. And then you have the 2D drawing stuff too, which I know there are some cool applications for that, which I'm really excited about, kind of from the maker perspective.
I mean, just what Josh said here, cheaper than Photoshop, and what I'm looking here is price is a Netflix subscription. Yeah, actually fairly cheap because it's £7.50 a month. It's cheaper than a standard Netflix subscription. And kind of the tools that you have access to is extremely powerful, even cheaper than Microsoft Office.
Yeah, and it's a cool trend, right? Even aside from 3D CAD, 3D modeling, whatever, the trend that we're seeing, I remember Photoshop's a great example where, us kind of growing up, if I wanted to learn graphic design, it was really hard to find Photoshop and it was really, really expensive. So I was like really, really into it from a young age. But just this trend of like accessible production grade software, you know, for that anyone could almost anyone could feasibly get. I just think that's such a cool thing. And I know just from being like when I was younger, I would have loved to have that stuff available. So I think we'll see like so many cool and maybe even unexpected ramifications of just making it so accessible now.
I mean, like a lot of the young kids that are watching YouTube, that's where they're consuming a lot of their, you know, side project educational things. They don't need to join like a club or anything like that. They just hop onto YouTube and they can learn a lot. I mean,
just follow some tutorials, don't they?
Brandon Walters, I went to school with him and that, and and he studied music and all that, and got into 3D printing, and now he's just messing around with 3D printers, making his own thing and building his own computers and that. And that's because everything that he's learned has come off YouTube and online. Everything's online. You don't realistically, you don't need to go to a university to learn the stuff anymore. You can just learn most of it on YouTube.
Yeah, and with this, there's a ton of stuff on YouTube. I think for SOLIDWORKS 3D CAD especially, right? Like SOLIDWORKS has had, and again, 3D Experience SOLIDWORKS being the same kind of core modeling, you know, so it's the same thing. You can actually, like, if you guys ever kind of look at some of the videos there of 3D Experience SOLIDWORKS, you'll see what I mean. So on that page, but there's a ton of stuff on YouTube, kind of just showing how to model in SOLIDWORKS every which way from 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 minutes ago, probably. There's just stuff all over the place. And for some of these newer, like you were saying, Kirby, where it's like with the X apps, which is to say like shorthand for like X design, XShape, I think what we're saying is, like you're saying, we're trying to make, you know, only the stuff you need, you know, whether that's X design and XShape or it's just X design, try to make it in this sort of as lightweight as possible. Just give you the stuff that you kind of need to be able to do what you want on the device that you have. But you know, there's a lot of stuff out there on SOLIDWORKS 3D CAD. I think on the X design end and on the XShape end, which again is kind of just saying 3D Creator and 3D Sculptor, there's less on YouTube just because they're a lot newer, and there haven't been you know, millions of people using them for 20 plus years. You know, but there is stuff like it merits mentioning. You know, because like you said, I think especially on the maker end, if you're just trying to pick this stuff up and you might not have been using 3D CAD for like 10, 15 years, this stuff could be scary. Like initially I was like, I remember when I started learning CAD, I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I didn't know, I was just garbage.
You make a block and wax some fillets on it and be like,
yeah, oh my God. But it's the best feeling, you know? And it's like, I say that, like, I was like, man, I suck at this. But you know, everyone gets better. But on that end, with 3D Creator and 3D Sculptor, let's say you're just getting this just to use it on the Mac, for example. There's not going to be as much on YouTube, but the cool thing is we do have like a training module that goes through like 3D Experience SOLIDWORKS, goes through 3D Creator, goes through 3D Sculptor. So we kind of have that covered too, video-wise.
I mean, a lot of the terminology is the same. I mean,
yeah, it's extrude, cut,
you can learn
sweep.
some basic SOLIDWORKS and convert it into that. I mean, like realistically, it's when Fusion came out and was all big and popular. The reason why a lot of like makers and that who would have used SOLIDWORKS jumped to that, because it's essentially the same type of, you make a sketch, you make a blob, you make your body, you then shape it and work with it. It's the same kind of thing, just different words for the different features. And with XShape and SOLIDWORKS, if you learn the one, you can use the other one.
Yeah, it's especially true, like you're saying, I think of X Design and SOLIDWORKS. You know, that was, I think I picked up X Design pretty much right away. But it's because of what you said. I think XShape is a little bit different because, you know, there's really no comparison to XShape in SOLIDWORKS 3D CAD, because I mean we have the freeform feature, but it's kind of just, it's there. but it's not like kind of built, like you guys know, it's not built to do that.
Yeah.
Whereas XShape kind of is. So it is, but no, X design, I would say definitely like that's one of those where it's like you're saying, like you said, Kirby, you know, you sketch something, you extrude it, you sweep it, you fill it, you know, those things are all the same. So like a lot of, yeah, the workflows are the same sort of methodologies, you know, defining your sketches, end conditions, like design intent, you know, thinking about what you're going to do before you do it, you know, make a few steps down the line. All those kind of core CAD tenets, I would say, are like kind of foundationally still there.
I mean, like what Eric was saying here is that he's run X design on a Amazon Fire tablet, which is like it's quite a fairly cheap, basic tablet to get, but like you've got kids, Sean, so like today's kids, you know, most of the time they'll have a tablet or some sort of device, whether it's for their homework or, you know, you just need, you know, 30 minutes for them to be busy. So it's like put some Peppa Pig on, whatever Peppa Pig is in America.
Peppa Pig. I love how we're ripping Peppa Pig of all things.
I was gonna say, is Peppa Pig sponsoring the stream?
No one is, Sean. We're free.
Not yet. But yeah, so like if there's, you know, if you can give them a tablet which they're familiar with and they can start pulling and pushing, you know, a blob, you know, going from apps for kids to XShape is quite similar kind of workflow.
Yeah.
If you just ingrain it when they're young, they'll make awesome things. Like you said, you wish you had access to this technology as a kid.
Yeah. Did you guys even like? I was hanging out with my my little cousin this weekend, and so my aunt, his mom, basically. So his mom was over too, and she was just, you know, like people ask you, like sometimes they'll say, well, you know, what should my son or what should my daughter or whatever, like what should they do for a career? Meanwhile, he's like, he had just gotten in from like playing basketball and he doesn't care. But it's weird because, you know, there's a lot of people out there, a crazy number of people still. And I was definitely this way for a long time as a kid, where you don't really know like what you can do. You don't know which professions are out there, which technologies are out there, if it's fun, if it's not, if work's always serious, if it's not. You know, like I didn't even know for most of my childhood that CAD was a thing. I just didn't have anyone in my life that kind of had, you know, like A, did anything like that as a job, but then B, like had any remote level of access to the technology that I could get my hands on. And to think that that's changing, like you said, with apps for kids and, you know, being able to just have, you know, a very functional sort of CAD tool just like on a tablet is pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah, I mean, it's I was about 16 when I first learned about engineering drawings and doing stuff like that, and then I downloaded SketchUp, and I just made some random shapes in there. But that's a lot more.
Yeah.
It's all like, you know, surfaces and triangles. You can't really make anything. You can't make anything curved in it unless you build every single triangle. But then when I learned SolidWorks in uni, and then I was watching shows like American Chopper and that at the same time, and I was seeing like, hang on, they're making those bikes with CAD, the software I'm learning right now. And that's when I was just like, I started to discover like, I can actually really do anything with this.
Yep.
You know, I don't have to make this copy of this engineering drawing because we're learning CAD. You know, I can start experimenting. I can, you know, let me try this out. Let's experiment with this. And having the kind of YouTube videos out there with showing what kind of awesome things that people are making, like the Hacksmith, and what Brad's doing, and like what a lot of us champions are doing.
Kirby, you've been derogatory to our older fans. Getting us in trouble again.
It was when I was a kid picking on us old against. It's people like that inspire people to just want to experiment. And if you've got a $10 a month package that's as powerful as what some of these big companies are doing, A parent's going to be like, yeah, sure, why not? Bye.
Yeah, I remember the first time I actually couldn't. I'm just thinking back to when I was in. I think I was probably at this time in probably like 8th or 9th grade. But I remember back when I think the first 3D modeling software that I came across was I think it was Cinema 4D. And I was just like, oh my goodness, like I can install this just like I would install, I don't know, like the Unreal, like, well, I was gonna say I used to play the Unreal games. Do you guys remember those?
Quake and that.
Yeah, like I used to play. Yeah, I used to play that, play Doom. I used to play and so like all these 3D graphics, and then I had Cinema 4D, and I was like, what? You can just have this on a computer, and that's how this can be done. My mind was just blown. It was so weird. Jonny, I'm curious, what was your kind of initial exposure to CAD or 3D modeling?
Kind of just got lumbered with it in school, and then from there I sort of fell in love with designing stuff, building stuff on a screen, and then making it into something. So I think
That's
about
cool.
14 years old, I was given sort of a copy of Solid Edge, and then I moved on to SolidWorks, and I've never really looked back.
Yeah, it's funny, just like everyone's story. I feel like a lot of people can come into this stuff like very, very differently, and I think that's only going to, like, I feel like with these sorts of products, like we're at a tipping point where we'll look back at this and be like, now all these people are making things.
Yeah,
like I'm like, you guys are, I'm sure, like you're looking around being like, there's just more people just making stuff in general and feeling sort of enabled in that way.
Yep.
I think stuff like Reddit, YouTube, like all that stuff helps, and then you just sort of make these tools more available. I feel like it's just going to skyrocket.
Yeah, I think obviously SolidWorks released the Makers Edition, $9.99 a month, which is like nothing in the scheme of softwares. So hopefully it's going to drive a load of new users and a load of different people into it. Like obviously Brandon in the chat saying he's going to get a copy of it.
Sweet.
I mean, well, at least we say, do we have discount codes?
Yeah, we got another good question as well, but I don't know how much Sean's knows or whether we can work something out for us.
So
champions.
Do champions get a free license subscription, or do we need to buy Maker Edition? Stick with the work licensing for home.
The most I can say is it's being worked on. I can't really say much else just because of that
mystery.
Yeah.
No, honestly, that's yeah. I mean, well, it is being worked on, and it will. Yeah, someday I'll look out for it. But like you said, I think even before then, the aim was for it to be pretty affordable, and I think we've achieved that. I mean, I think the biggest kind of marker of reaction was like when we announced it at 3D Experience World for the first time, and I guess because we all were, right? We were all sort of watching it on the chat on YouTube and stuff, and I think it was great to see that people mostly had a good reaction to the price point and felt like it was what we aimed for it to be, which is, accessible.
It's a really fair deal.
I mean, like the first time I went to World, I can't remember who I was chatting to about it. And we're just standing there. I think it was with Luke, and we're just looking in this room filled with thousands of people watching the main presentation. And like, these are some of the smartest people in the world that are changing the world, and we make light swords.
Yep.
Like
sabers, Kirby, sabers.
But it's like we're just making props and fun things, but we're in the same room as these engineers
amazing.
and stuff like your Maker Edition. You're suddenly introducing,
a new realm of people.
You're taking us prop makers and putting us in the same level as engineers, and everybody's enjoying each other's conversations. I'm fascinated when I speak to like an aerospace engineer and they're talking about just doing some aerodynamics and simulations.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Like, how did you make that helmet? I'm like, some surfaces and 3D printed and then sanding.
If it's Kirby, or the bodies that are all over the place and they're all on top of each other.
Well, however you get there, but it's interesting in that concept. I think about that a lot because you know, you have like really sort of tried and true sort of these sort of titles and these professions that you're right. Like there is a lot that it takes to become, say, like an aerospace engineer or whatever. There's a lot of esteem that's rightfully attached to that. I think one of the things that I feel like is trending in the right way is even just this idea that even if you are doing something where you don't necessarily have, you know, the sort of highest amount of certificates or, you know, a certain level of degree from the certain university or college or school or whatever, that like there was this feeling that was like it isn't legitimate or something. When it's interesting, because I feel like we see now more than ever too, kind of on a related topic, and I feel like we did see this at 3D Experience World 2020, like the last time we had it in person. Like there's just a lot of people just doing multiple things too. Yeah. So even like you said, like there can be that aerospace engineer, you don't know it, but it's like maybe they like heard or looked at your helmet design or your lightsaber design, and then that inspired them to do other stuff outside of like their core job. Like Eric Haddad was a good example of that, right? Where he like ran a design consultancy and then he was making those planes and those videos. And, you know, I feel like we just continue to see more and more of that, in addition to all the people that have nothing to, that like it has nothing to do with their day jobs at all, but they're just kind of getting into it too.
Yeah, it kind of takes them out of the mind frame of what they do and being like, reminding them that you can do anything with this software. I mean,
it doesn't just have to be engineering. It can be things and
awesome things. In Dallas, I was chatting with an engineer from SpaceX, and we were admiring a Lego lightsaber. And it's just like, there's no other environment that I'd be in the same room as, you know, this person, but we're nerding out over some Lego.
Yeah,
you know, something that has nothing to do with the event or SolidWorks or anything. It's just we both really think Lego's cool.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that. I think, like, you know, you guys, I think we're at the Hive Mind meetups that we had when we were in Nashville. Basically, those meetups where we had like makers, artists, you know, people who were doing like hobby projects with 3D CAD. Kind of in one place, just to, like you said, Kirby, like make connections and like meet and talk about the things you do and the things you could do or want to do. We're trying to make that too a bit more of a digital experience as well. Like I wanted to show you guys this here. Actually, I guess Kirby, you can, if you go to that page, that maker page.
Yep.
This isn't something, by the way, you need to, like, if you don't need to buy the Maker Edition to look at this and participate and make connections in it. But if you go to the Maker page, there's actually, like right there, the Made in 3D community. So we had this idea to kind of make these communities where, and if you have, you know, if you're using XDesign or SolidWorks or SolidWorks 3D CAD or, you know, whatever CAD package almost, like you can share stuff here. You can ask questions, but we're driving more traffic now to this little community called Made in 3D, which is just that. It's like share your 3D models, so you can share 3D data directly to it. People can download from it. You can attach pictures, videos, ask questions, share ideas. So in terms of like that connection, we're trying to sort of make these little spaces out to where people can kind of share this stuff. So you see John there with, you know, the cigar box guitar. Yeah, like this stuff. I think this stuff's cool. And this stuff, by the way, it's in like a special moment. Like, I think if you look there, we'll probably see in like a year there's many more people in this community. But right now it's like in that special kind of like fledgling moment where there's like, you know, 20 people talking in this space. Yeah. So it's a good time to kind of start participating.
Like, here's something that looks really interesting that I could be like,
yeah, I love this one.
How did you make those curves? Because maybe I want to make a lampshade with something similar, or a Christmas bubble to go on the tree with some sort of pattern. Looks like SolidWorks is making a Thingiverse that isn't run on a potato. But yeah, it's stuff like that. Like looking at how this was created, you know, you got the space to actually ask people. It's like, oh, how'd you do that? And that person could be like, look, let me show you a video or a time lapse of how I did it.
That was pretty cool. Justin's from the UK, by the way. I know you guys know Justin, but He made, I think it's like a bird feeder, and I think he made that. There's a cool feature in X Design where you can make these like sort of generative designs. So you can say like, okay, this point here is fixed, 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 and it has to be able to support this type of load. Basically give it like these sort of boundary conditions in terms of what it needs to be able to practically do for you. And then it'll generate a sort of shape that can do that. And sometimes it comes out with like some pretty cool organic looking stuff. And
that's in the Maker edition.
Yeah, so that's if you get
my wallet.
Take it.
Yeah, it's cool even to even to play around with. Like Justin actually made one of the things, but just to see like like you said, Kirby, like kind of being creative and just seeing the things that can be done. I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Brandon's doing our work for us, Kirby.
I know.
Great.
Brandon's hyping you guys up.
He's our hype man.
Exactly. He always does that.
Some
He
boy.
gets in there, reminds everybody. Mate, he should be admin.
Should be admin.
He hasn't mentioned about liking the video yet, which is the slight disappointment. I'm sure he'll get there.
I mean, I see a lot of people in chat showing their age and how,
Yeah,
they're old
I'll
cat
be
versions.
honest. I don't know what some of these people are going on about. This is predating me.
Yeah, this one lost me.
You what?
But that's the thing is that we've in the Champions program, you got people like Eric who bought the first the first copy of SolidWorks and worked from the start. And younglings like Jonny.
Don't call me a youngling. I'm sure you don't know how old I am, Kirby. You always forget.
20-something.
20-something.
Yeah.
That's all he cares
like,
about.
These conversations of like all veterans of SolidWorks just starting to be introduced to these new people that are coming out with these insane models and creations and stuff like that. And it's really admiring that a lot of them aren't being like shied away thinking generative design is going to take their job. They can see the potential in it and how it's like Eric puts it, it's design assistance. It's the next step in the technology.
Yeah, that's like the design assistance feature, like in kind of how it generates designs and everything like that. I agree. I mean, it can be assistive, right? And it's in the name, but I don't know. I think that's always there's I don't think this industry, I think you guys would agree, like this industry isn't sort of unique in this way. I think that's just a byproduct of these terms like AI and machine learning and computing power and this and that, this sort of amalgamation of ideas that gives us this idea that like we are, whether we're writers or we are 3D modelers or we're scientists, like that a computer can become so good, or a computing system can become so good, so intelligent, so intentional that we just don't matter anymore. I think if we ever get there, we're very far away.
Yeah, I mean
but there's great videos. Like I don't blame it, because like that it gets back to the content. There's some videos out there where you look at it and you're like if you see a robot that's doing something and it's like, how did they get it to do this? It looks so natural. It looks amazing.
I mean, Boston Dynamics' latest video with the robots dancing to BTS is incredible. Wow, I spelled Boston spot on there.
The comments are always crazy too. Like if you look, even if there's a video from like 2002, you would find something pretty crazy looking, at least that can demo fairly well.
Like, this looks like it's an animation. It looks like an animation rendering, but it's just so smooth and the flow of it is incredible.
Yeah, like this stuff is, but like if you look at the comments, I wonder like what people are saying.
True.
Like I would be curious to see if there's more like, okay, they're gonna take over the world in the next year.
I'm getting way too comfortable with dancing robots. We've been preparing to fight for years to fight robots. We never expected it to be a dance-off.
You prepare weekly, don't you, Kirby?
I mean, it's just
See,
how well
this
it's
is
go.
Josh here saying, remember Microsoft's attempt at Clippy. At this rate, Clippy should have taken over the world.
Oh, yeah, Clippy was awesome. I used to like have some because we weren't interested in games and computers, and I was just like press like you can animate him and make him do random stuff. We were like, "Way!" It was awesome. There was also we had a computer where there was this like dude on an island as a screensaver, and he would just like plot around the island and do his own thing. We would sit there like for hours watching the screensaver. It was great.
Yeah. I remember even back, like, if you guys had AIM or AOL, like there was that little account called Smarter Child, which if you would IM it, it would sort of give you these sort of like predictive responses. It was fairly limited, but Josh said it, but he never actually helped. Yeah, I don't remember being helped by Clippy.
It's kind of like SolidWorks kind of like error thing. It pops up, what's wrong? And you'd be like, huh? Look on the web. Like, it took me so long to figure out what zero thickness was.
Yeah. That one I would say, like, it used to frustrate me a lot when I would have like imported geometry or something, and it would say that. And like it's SolidWorks 3D CAD's gotten a lot better at like telling you where like an issue face is, but it used to not be as good. And when it would tell you those things, it would make you crazy. I'd be like, I don't know what to do. I just imported this. Like, what do I do? Like, how do I fix this? I don't even know what to start with. Just look for weird looking stuff. You just start to rotate around and like zoom in on everything.
Yeah, you try and find like that tiny little line that's just beep off to the side. No clue how that happens, but it's just like I'd go to every little point, and if it didn't work, delete it all and draw it again, and it worked.
Yeah, that's what I do. If in doubt, delete it out.
If in doubt, delete it out. I like that.
You can use that, Sean. I'll give you that one for free.
I'm probably going to take it.
Cool. I mean, as Eric says, my career's gone from board, so like technical drawing on a board, that was fun. 2D CAD, 3D wireframes, 3D surfaces, 3D modeling, and now Cloud CAD. If you stop learning, you stop earning.
Damn, that's a deep quote there, Eric. I like it.
Dropping some knowledge there.
Yeah, I'll probably take that too.
And followed by I for one welcome our dancing canine robotic overlords.
Yeah, I don't know anyone. I guess I do know people. I mean, the coolest people are the people like Eric said that just want to keep learning and are very, very curious. I feel like if I was talking to my nephew right now, like I was saying earlier, like I would say the biggest predictor of success and happiness is probably just curiosity. And yes, at some level, there's obviously other factors that contribute, but I feel like if you're curious and you want to keep learning and you care about stuff, like those are all great things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite excited for more people to get hold of this Maker Edition and more people to start experimenting and pushing the limits. And I mean, I guess that's how SolidWorks got so far, is that you had, most of the people doing exactly what they need to do in their job, but then you had that percentage of people that were just trying to do even more with it.
Yep.
And then coming to you guys and being like, it would be awesome if you did this, and then you guys would listen and add that in and build it on. And add more and more onto it.
Yeah, it's at the phase now. Like, if you look up, this is a dangerous game, by the way, but if you were to open up YouTube and just Google like anything you could think of, and then put 3D CAD model, you would just find it. And like those 3D CAD packages.
We had that conversation in our last episode.
Week, yeah.
Right? Yeah, like same thing, right? It's like that idea is crazy because of what you just said, because there was like a fixed set of things at a certain point where the software was developed for, and then to see it just like go crazy in some direction, like people like a great testament to this is we were talking about Rob earlier, Rob Maldonado from Virtual Flat CAD. If you look at his like CAD model of the day, there's some cool mechanism stuff on there, but then he's also made some stuff that is kind of out in left field, where it's cool that it looks really good, but it's also just not, it's untraditional.
Yeah, you'll go from like a candle holder, which I think is one of his recent ones. He's done like a rope. You know, so some things that, you know, it could take him 5 minutes, but other stuff that you can really spend a lot of time on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing. Someone always asks me, like, I get a lot of people say, "Oh, could you design this for me in 3D print it?" And most of the time, I go into Thingiverse or my Factory and like send them a link. It's like, it's there, just download it.
Yeah.
And even if you're trying to create something, just have a look and see if that exists already. Like if you want to make a Stormtrooper helmet, chances are there's a Stormtrooper helmet for you to download for free online.
There is.
Some
it's
models
not very
you have
good
to pay
though.
for. That's you get what you pay for and nothing.
Kirby the cheapskate.
The cheapskate. Yeah, I'm so cheap.
It's true.
Myself.
You could, I mean, like let's say like on the one video or the I think it was Walter who made that one, but like there was sort of the kitchen remodel example, which I think a lot of us have done. Like I remember like our little deck outside, like I basically, you know, because you can get like that. Those are the sorts of projects where you're kind of just doing it for the spacing and some of the aesthetic. You're trying to see like would this flow right and all that, but at the same time, like I don't know, sometimes chairs just look like chairs, and you don't have to model your exact chair. And it's just easier and better just to, like you guys are saying, like just go on some website and like just get a 3D model real quick.
Yeah, it's when I was moving house, we were going from a fully furnished flat to an empty house, so we needed to buy everything, and we had no clue what would fit in what room and what we needed. So kind of we put together a little catalog of things that we liked on Ikea. I took down all the dimensions. I took the measurements of the rooms before we moved in, made a little CAD model, and I could see what furniture we wanted could fit. You know, reduce the list of things that we want, and then we finally decided, cool, do we want that kind of couch or that couch or that kind of spare bed or that one? And it just helped out. It meant that when we moved in, we could just buy the stuff and fit it in. And it made it so much easier. I mean, when we redid our bathroom, we had to do like a 3D drawing with the company that we did it. And I had all my technical drawings out already. I was like, that's what we want. And they're like, that's half my job done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a funny feeling, by the way, whenever you do that with someone. It's almost like you're worried that they'll feel like you've done their job in a bad way. You know, it's like, oh, like this is, I was not supposed to do this. But then when you get the opposite reaction, we're like, oh, thank you so much. No one's ever done this for me before.
Yeah, because like I said, that was something. It's like some people, they'll come in like, I want a bathroom. I'm like, cool. How big is it?
Oh.
What do you want? I don't know.
A bath. Yeah.
I thought my job was over when I told you that I wanted something.
Yeah, you want to do the rest. No, we're doing that now with our new house. Like we're trying to figure out what furniture is going to fit where, what we need to order. SolidWorks is a good tool. You can scale everything out properly and plan it. So different use of it again. Yeah,
it's cool. Like even there's a couple funny things about that. Like if you can sketch out like in SolidWorks or another CAD tool, like you're saying, like a floor plan, like 2D floor plan, kind of gets the dimensions right, and then you're done. You could just extrude it. And like let's say you were just trying to if I did done with my basement, you could just extrude the walls and then start from there. There's so much weird stuff like design wise where it's just like kind of getting the boundaries first and foremost, and then kind of just like designing around that.
That's what I did in my house. It was just the walls extruded and the furniture was just blocks. I wasn't going to spend a lot of time making it pretty or anything like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what we've done. But it gives you a rough idea, doesn't it? If nothing else.
I mean, even Eric, like he's laying out a new fireplace and mantle and new kitchen cabinets and using XDesign on a tablet, because when you're over there you don't have to take your whole big old PC. I mean, LAN evenings were cool when you took your computers, but like you don't want to set up a computer to just do some CAD.
Yeah, it's cool that way. Like even if you had like if you had XDesign open or the little 3D Play app, which is kind of like e-drawings on 3D Experience, like having it on a tablet's pretty cool just to be able to reference stuff. I kind of that's one area like I'm not even just talking about SolidWorks, but just in general. I kind of feel like I feel like the promise of having 3D instructions for like every product you would ever put together has been around for so long, but I kind of feel like it's a little bit lagging behind. Like I still hate that like most of the things I would buy and need to set up, like if I look at instructions, it's just like, 2D printout of like a consumer product. I wish that was kind of more progressed, but I think it'll get there.
I mean, Lego is currently doing it now with a lot of their instructions. They've got interactive instructions where
that stuff's so cool.
You can load it up on a tablet and you can rotate the model to see exactly where your next step is placed. And I think Ikea is working on something similar. I think they were presenting at World, and I think they were talking about something like that. I know they were saying they're going to make disassembly instructions, which I think is very interesting.
That is interesting. My
once you've built your cabinet, you kind of forget how you put it together. So if you are moving, like IKEA furniture is not made for moving.
Dude, don't say that. I got loads of it back flat packed in storage, and I don't remember how I took it apart. So
I think IKEA furniture has been pretty good to me. It's interesting. My brother actually works at IKEA too. He's a web developer.
All right.
I gotta take advantage of him for some more perks. They have some good stuff.
Yeah, I mean everything in our house is IKEA. It's so easy just to go across the river, pick up some stuff. There's even like a van rental area where you just go onto an app, walk up to a van, put in the code on the windscreen, and you get into the van, load your stuff in, take it home, put the van back, and hop into your car. Done. You can rent a van for an hour. I think that's amazing. And we've done that a few times to be able to just take the stuff back.
Best instructions have no words. I like that.
Yep.
Well, that's like both IKEA and Lego have done that very successfully. You don't need, there's no words, there's no anything like that. It's just picture after picture after picture. As soon as you add text in, you've got to convert that into various languages. It just gets so complicated.
That's why they do it, because it's uniform. You ship one instruction manual around the world.
Yeah.
I saw John's message there. That's kind of the funny thing about this little thing that we're doing here. Like I think we like just Kirby, Jonny, and I, like we were just talking and saying like it would be cool just to talk about it a bit. Because it's interesting, like you can, it was announced at 3D Experience World, and there's been a ton going on in the background, obviously, and then basically, now we kind of have the website up and everything like that, so you can get it. But the big kind of all the launch activities, like even that video with the hacksmith and everything, you can see it's on the page, but like it's even unlisted right now. So like all that stuff's going to go live like first week of August, I believe. I think. Actually, August 9th would be, second week? So probably that second week, you'll start to see, like, promotional activities and, like, actual, like, a lot of stuff, like, being said about it.
That's why I've even said it felt like a soft launch, just getting everything ready so that when, you are pushing and promoting it, us people, us makers and that have looking at it now, have worked out all the little kinks and the bugs.
Yeah.
John and I were actually talking. We're in that Made in 3D community that we mentioned a little bit earlier. John, you saw he posted a cool model. But yeah, it's interesting. We were talking about woodworking at some point the other week, just kind of talking about tools and such. So it's cool because like we're kind of going from a phase where like obviously, and it's great. Everyone's really excited about the 3D CAD stuff, but I think some of the stuff surrounding it, like again, like that community and all those sorts of things, I think will be nice to see how that kind of contributes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, like I'm looking at your post here, like most important tool for cosplay. I see like you got resounding response, so many comments. There's none.
No, it's it. I mean,
it's just one of those generic posts.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like, I think it's funny because I had one we had like a little woodworking area and we posted about It's actually funny because like the reason why I posted this, I actually wanted to see how many cosplayers were there already, like how many cosplayers were there, and kind of see if there's something that I wouldn't expect. The woodworking one, when I posted that, that got a lot of comments, but yeah, it's interesting.
That'll be this. Like
This is from Daniel. Daniel's this is kind of cool too, because like you see like there's people from SolidWorks, people not from SolidWorks kind of posting things. And one of the things I think is so cool about this specific type of product is that it just kind of, everyone does this stuff wherever you work. You know, whether you work at SolidWorks, or you work at, you know, a company that uses SolidWorks, or you don't work at anything, any company like that. It's funny to see everyone coming together and just talking about things.
I mean, as a user, it's like I'm new to SolidWorks Maker Edition. I'm wondering if there's a CNC path, someone explaining about another software, which quite often CNCing and 3D printing, you use kind of a slicing software to do it. And, you know, they're just having a conversation about just information about CNCs and that. This wouldn't be a conversation I'd jump into. This would be something more I'd jump into, or I'd ask about.
You should comment, Kirby. I'm like, I have no engagement. No, no one's talking to me on my phone.
I was going to have a read through it, but like, I think the most important tool for a cosplay artist is a Karen.
Yep. Karen.
No, like, it depends how you make your stuff. So like this person you featured, Kamui, she does everything by hand.
Mm-hmm.
So her tool set's going to be completely different to, for example, myself, which is 3D printed all, sanded and painted, and that's it done. And if you look at Luke Daly's way of doing cosplay stuff, he'll 3D print the one, spend a lot of time finishing it, and then he has a whole arsenal of tools to be able to cast it and make duplicates. So
make one perfect and cast from them.
Yeah. I mean, it depends what you're doing. And have you ever heard of the cosplay doctor?
No.
It's a guy who goes around at conventions, calls himself the cosplay doctor, and he has all the tools needed to repair people's cosplay. So like little sewing kits, gluing kits, and all the different things to help people like repair, like if something breaks. So like it depends on what you're making. Svetlana, there we go. Of course, Eric knows Svetlana. I've met Svetlana actually. I got one of her books somewhere. I sold a 3D printer to her.
On commission, I bet.
No, not on commission.
Jeez. Hashtag Kirby wasn't the sellout this week.
No, I wasn't. No, it was a few years back when I worked for a 3D printing company. And I was doing like some of the design cosplay stuff, and she wanted to buy a printer. So I gave advice on that, and because the company I work for sold printers as well, 2 for 1. I think she still got that machine. There's all trucks, but that's a conversation that could happen in the makers community. Is can get advice like that, because I mean, I don't know, Sean, are you looking to cosplay?
Probably
Eminem.
not.
Sean's like, how do I swerve this quickly?
No, I was talking to you, Johnny, about some little things I was looking to do, but I won't really consider those things like cosplay or anything.
I mean, you can do a killer Slim Shady.
Yeah.
I thought you guys only called me that when I had those blue light glasses.
No, they were cool though. You got to put them back on.
They're broken. Our daughter broke them. Like she got the lenses and like punched them out.
Right, Kirby, put it on our to-do list. Send Sean another pair of them.
I know enough to know not to get like really nice things, so I just got them from like the local computer store. So I'll just go get some new ones. But I did like them. She did. Actually, she only punched the one lens out, and then I was just like, all right, well, I guess these are done.
I mean, it's well, Brandon wants to be a fat Iron Man. I'm a big fan of Fat Thor. Well, Bro Thor is what it's called.
Bro Thor. Kirby related to Fat Thor.
Can I ask you, Kirby, a question? So when you make a helmet design, how are you typically approximating for like the human head?
I don't.
He doesn't, Sean. What he does is he
Um,
models it and then he scales it up to fit his head when he needs it to, because he got a big head.
It's kind of tricky because like the head shape isn't round; it's kind of oblong,
Yeah.
thinner there.
Mhm.
So I'll take basically an average diameter, and I'll find maybe a drawing of a head or a very basic 3D model of a head, and I'll try and kind of get that head to be about that size. It's very difficult unless you're making helmets all the time. There's no real easy way to do it. Like for example, my Bo-Katan helmet, I thought I had the scale right, but it was just huge. So I had to print it again and just scale it down. So it just comes down to a bit of experience, really. But this has me too excited. I've got to share this. I think you nailed it, Sean.
Yeah, that
Oh man, I've been too smiley to fit that, but I think otherwise it's like, here, let me try to.
I can see some Photoshop in Kirby. We put a Champions logo on that image. We are
No, we don't need that one.
we are perfect.
Maybe he should be next. You guys should try to get Eminem.
You got a contact for him? Because we don't.
No.
I'm gonna try. I'll tweet him tonight.
Yeah, I bet you will. He will as well.
I'll just write him a letter.
Yeah, just write. Yeah, I've heard Eminem is always looking out for letters, and he responds to everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's a song about it.
Yeah.
But no, it's cool. I'm glad you guys kind of had me on just to talk about this stuff. It's interesting, and I'm excited to see what people do. I'm really excited to see people do with 3D Sculptor. Like, I think it's a cool app, and it can be really fun to use. And I'm just happy to see. I'm just looking at the comments, laughing. But I'm happy to see that more people will be able to use it.
Just say your name is Stan.
Do you know what?
Actually, I should have.
No one knew that it looked like Slim Shady until we have put it out there today, Sean. So,
well, I mean, as
when you become a famous, like
Josh said, put a badge on that. So Photoshop a champion badge on it.
I don't know if it shows up in StreamYard. I just changed my name. I guess it doesn't. I don't think it shows on the StreamYard.
I've got to remove the banner.
There you go. Oh, by the way, Eric, I saw Eric mention Jesse Champion there. Yeah. So if you look at the Hacksmith video, and scrub to like right to the very end, you'll see little Easter egg. It's so dumb. Yeah. But there's so like you guys have probably seen, like if you look at any of the demo videos that we make for any of the apps, yeah.
So we've got Jesse Champion now. Who's Mel Maker?
It's not.
You can't have so many like fake names. This is getting out of control. You practically like money laundering intellectual criminal now.
Yeah, create multiple identities.
Yeah.
Well, no, you kind of. That's kind of. We have to do that. Like, it's the rule. We have to have these names, but it's
like badges
Mel
to get into
Maker.
the office as well.
My God, Mel Maker.
Mel Maker is a celebrity. Mel Maker, by the way, got called out. It was so funny. I posted like these 3D printed wheels with like tread on the tires and stuff.
Yep.
To the Made in 3D community, and then somebody called it out and said, "Hey, these look pretty familiar," because it was from How to Mechatronics.
No.
But I will say that Mel did get express approval from How to Mechatronics to post that. So Mel wasn't in the wrong, but Mel got caught.
Mel just moved on to her next name.
Yeah, right. Jesse Champion. Mel Maker was required, Jesse Champion was not required. There was no need for that, and it just happened.
Well, like Eric says, is no Jesse Champion's only non-alliterative name on the platform.
Also, Jesse Champion, I'm pretty sure up until that point only existed in the Champions program.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now
It's like broken out.
You've taken them into the world.
Yeah, I think the only place where Jesse Champion existed was the Champions program, and I think also if you look at like the 3D Experience World 2021 live chat, like I'm pretty sure that's the only other place where people talk about Jesse Champion, and everyone else is just like, what are you guys talking about? Like, what is this?
Who's this legend?
Yeah, why is everyone so happy? I'm Googling Jesse Champion, I can't find anything. Like, you guys are so happy about this person, but this person doesn't exist. Yeah, Jesse Champion has been loosed upon the world.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Just it didn't mean anything. It just turned into something.
Those are the best things, by the way. Like the like spread like wildfire, like fan fiction, like goofy, stupid things are the best things.
Has Jesse Champion received any fan art?
No.
Sean can show.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to think of like there was someone that like, so we have these champion meetups, and someone, I forget who it was, but they like mirrored my stream on like my webcam, and they had this like almost like a Snapchat-esque filter, where it was me, but it wasn't me. You know what I mean? It was like it looked different. And I was just like, what is going on? And I'm pretty sure it was on GoToMeeting, and I'm pretty sure they had their name was like blanked out. I think it just said Jesse. I was like, I literally have no idea what this is. And I was like, this is the freakiest look at myself, but it was just, it's still hilarious.
That's great. I mean, so like the Champions program, that's available for anybody to join. Anybody who just does incredible stuff or fun stuff with SolidWorks, and now Maker Edition.
Yeah, the maker thing is super cool. There's just more ways to get involved. We so I remember that, Sean. I actually, so if you go to solidworks.com/community, we also added to that point. We're still making like a champions video, but we added the maker. So like if you know someone that's just looking to get involved with something, they can go to solidworks.com/community, and they can find a way to kind of get involved with almost anything. So that would guide them to Swugin, that would guide them to, get the maker edition or join one of the maker communities, like even if they don't get the software itself. So there's, like you're saying, like there's just a new way to get involved with whatever now, which is always good to add more stuff.
Oh, that's really, really good. It's really kind of, because like the Champions program just helps people connect with other cool makers, and just a lot more than the maker community that you've created. A place where people can really show off their stuff, and eventually their stuff could be featured on stuff like the splash screen.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing. Like I think when I like personally, when I look back at all this stuff, like I think it'll be that idea. Like I always say like this idea that like all of you have this sort of area where you can just like share stuff and be involved in new ways. I just think that is super awesome.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
I've really enjoyed being part of the Champion program. Jonny, I'm sure as well.
Yep, definitely.
Like taking part in what we can. I mean, even now we're pulling together the champions of the UK to put together a magic wheelchair build in what's now, I think, 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Tell me that, dude. This is gonna get stressful.
Well, that I guess just to stay like on the connection part, so Jonny doesn't get too stressed. No, but like that idea, there's a lot of people in the Champions program that I'm sure you guys could say the same. It's like even in the UK, I didn't know them. And like this idea that it didn't exist, it existed, only started existing like a year ago. And now you can just do these things where if you wanted to do like a magic wheelchair build and you just like wanted people locally who were interested in a certain sort of thing, it's really easy to sort of get people together that way, which I think is really neat.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's and I'm excited to. Hopefully, we'll be able to all meet up at some point before the reveal and actually start to meet these champions. I mean, with hopefully now everything's starting to move towards some sort of normality. Like the champions program came around just before a pandemic, so not many of us have actually met in real life.
I know, that's the strangest thing. Who is Heather was actually asking me about that. So Heather was really nice. She asked me because DriveWorks was doing a series just sort of highlighting different people just doing things around the industry that are cool. And she was nice enough to ask me to talk about the champions program, and that's exactly what I said. I just said, like, it wasn't obviously planned. Like we had the idea for the champions program before 3D Experience World 2020, and but like it just so happened, like you're saying, to fill at least a little bit of a gap for people. Like that was super fortunate, and I thought that was neat. I'll always look back at that time and just, like we all will, like that time was really weird, and it still is very weird and stressful for a lot of people, but especially at that very introductory level where all these like things were happening that were super scary. Having something like the champions program as like a source of a bit of light was nice.
Yeah, a place where people could go and be part of something.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'd be exciting to see, like, if we can all come out for Worlds next year, how many people, have a big champions meetup. I'm quite excited just to see everybody and meet new people as well, people that I've only seen in meetings and on forums and that.
For sure. Yeah, it's been too long since I've seen you guys.
Definitely.
Yes.
Like, it's been what, a year and a half?
Yeah, since World.
That's so weird.
You recovered yet?
Yeah.
Johnny, I never needed to recover. I was always fine. No, I'm kidding.
No, you did well, Sean. You kept up.
Yeah, it's always a good time. It's always a great time. So I'm excited. I mean, we'll be back in Atlanta in February, so that'll be fun.
Quite excited.
Yeah, we're hoping to get out, aren't we, Kirby?
Yes. Getting my second jab next week, so 2 weeks time. So I'll be free to travel quite easily.
Yeah.
So,
Mine's
I'm excited.
Yep. That'll be good fun. So I mean, like, I think this will be a good little question just to finish it off. Is what is the difference? And I've seen a lot of people ask this. What is the difference between normal SolidWorks and 3D Experience SolidWorks?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people are worried that it's like a dumbed down version of SolidWorks.
I can show you. I can show you. I actually have. Let me pull up a model real quick. Let's see. I like this one.
We hope to see you there too, Josh.
Yeah, we want to see everyone there. We have missed you all, haven't we, Kirby?
Yeah. A party.
So this is from, let me see. So I can click on share, right? So share screen.
Yep.
There we go. All right. So it's reading the disclaimer on the app. Window. Let's try window. Let's see if this works well. So I'll just share.
Okay.
Cool. Can you guys see?
Perfect.
So this is it. You can only model wood. I'm kidding. You can only model wood and clocks.
No metals. You only get wood.
That's completely the same. So you can see, like, right now I'm in an assembly. This is from Ayush from India. Actually made this. So you'll see this is in the in that Hacksmith video. It's kind of like one of the featured models. But you'll see, everything should look the same. There's a couple of differences you might spot. If you're kind of looking like here, you'll see I took if you can see my cursor, I took Mel Maker's computer. So I'll give it back to Mel when we're done. But
the truth is coming out now.
yeah,
Mel's being properly outed here.
Yeah, I swear we're not the same person. But you'll see like there's this connection to this space, which is just named Mel Maker Space. So I'll kind of get into more of the significance of that in a moment. But as far as like the toolbars and everything like that, like it's all the same. Like you'll see sketches. Like I'm in the assembly environment now.
Yep.
You'll see like if I open up like a part here, like this little wooden slab, and then you look like features, sketches, surfaces, sheet metal. Yeah, like you can see tabs. I can open up like weldments, mold tools. Like it's all the same. The biggest difference you'll probably notice right away, though, is in the top left corner. It says SOLIDWORKS Connected. So SOLIDWORKS Connected, which is kind of like the name of this little app. But you can just
got you, Sean.
What's that?
Read Josh's comment. He's totally got you covered.
What did Josh say?
Eminem. Now it all makes sense.
Mel Maker, Eminem, Slim Shady.
That's good. That's really good.
Circle.
That's really good.
Nice.
You got me. But no, I mean, SOLIDWORKS Connected. Basically, what this entails with 3D Experience SOLIDWORKS, you could just call this 3D Experience SOLIDWORKS, is that is connected to 3D Experience platform. So basically, when you save, when you open things, you'll see kind of like SOLIDWORKS PDM. Like you'll see, like it kind of gives you details on the currently open model. Like here, you can see, like this hasn't been saved yet. Like I just kind of imported this. So a lot of the saving and opening is cool because you can basically like save space on your hard drive and access your models from wherever. But that's like the biggest difference. The biggest difference is that you're saving and opening to the cloud currently. So you'll notice that's like the biggest difference. But that's kind of cool again because like with the Maker offer, one thing we actually haven't talked about is that, at least on the stream, is that you can actually get up to 5 currently. You can get up to 5 users with like a Maker subscription. So basically what that can mean is like we talked about and we showed that Made in 3D community where you can talk to anyone, you know, whether you're using the Maker edition or not. But if you go that route, like I mentioned, where you have like 5 people in a single design space, you can kind of take advantage of that cloud storage where basically if you wanted to make something where some of you were working on, you know, a system over here and some people were working on this little assembly here, or if you just wanted to just make stuff and have mutual access to each other's files, you could do that. So there's kind of that benefit of cloud storage, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, it's the biggest difference. Yeah, biggest difference is that. And then you can also like bring in from the cloud, like if you're using 3D Creator or 3D Sculptor, you are basically saving and opening to the cloud by default anyway, because they're just cloud-based apps. And you can bring in, like if I search for something I made in 3D Sculptor, I could bring it into a SOLIDWORKS assembly. So that's kind of neat too. But that's kind of the biggest difference. But you should see, I mean, everything's kind of, you know, if I go in the options, like you guys will see, this is all pretty much the same.
Yep.
Yep.
That's right. Like, I think that's what a lot of people worried, that like they'd be blocked out of some features.
Yeah. So that is that. It's the same thing, by the way. It's the same, like if you look at, because you can get 3D Experience SOLIDWORKS commercially too. It's basically the same. So Josh, our models only, can they be downloaded or uploaded? Yeah, you can take them down. So you can export them out of the cloud if you want. Basically, like if you had, I'm trying to think of like an example. Let's say you made something and then like you want to export it and like bring it somewhere, like put it on a flash drive or whatever. You could do that too. I could see you wanting, actually one reason why I guess you might do that is like, let's say you had like a 3D printer hooked up somewhere and you wanted to take it on a flash drive and bring it to it. Like you could do that kind of stuff. So, or like you said, Kirby, like if you had someone that was doing like if you didn't have a CNC machine, and you were looking to get something laser cut and you wanted to send it to someone, but they didn't have access to your platform space, like you could just export it and get a physical copy and like email it or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways you can do that on the platform
a
too.
lot of those softwares would use like a STL or a step file.
Yeah.
I mean, even exporting as a step file, you can open that fairly easily in normal SolidWorks or any other CAD softwares.
Yep. There's so like, and when you're in 3D Creator, 3D Sculptor, you're kind of just like working, like it doesn't really show you file extensions. It just kind of says it's like, here's a product or here's a project. But like you were saying, if you wanted to export to like a common like manufacturing kind of format or like neutral format, like STL or STEP, you could do that there and get a physical copy of the geometry. So that's neat.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic. I think a lot of people have learned some stuff. Hopefully people go out and go buy it. Hopefully if anybody's watching this in the future, hopefully they can learn something from this about 3D SolidWorks for Makers. This is going to be like the first of probably many videos of people talking about it and getting out there. I mean, our next kind of project on here with the soundboard is going to be using the features of the SolidWorks for Makers. XShape and stuff.
And if you guys go like just on the topic of like just questions, we've tried to sort of preempt some of that. If you go to, and that site you've been showing, Kirby, there's a shortened version. If you just go to solidworks.com/maker, it just takes you to that same page. And then if you look at that, like down the bottom, there's like a little FAQ section down at the bottom of the page where you can kind of check that out and kind of just answers, questions you might have kind of thing.
I saw there was also a community for, you got your makers made in 3D, but there's also the community that's, where did I find it? Makers support. So people having any technical issues with what they're trying to do, I think that's quite helpful as well, because there won't be much information out there.
Not in the way that you would see it with like SolidWorks 3D CAD, right? Like just not naturally anyway. It's because it isn't built out yet like that. But no, definitely check that out too. You can kind of get some of your questions answered before, like you said, that maker support community is good for stuff like that too.
That's really cool. I think that's a good place to leave it for the evening.
Cool. Well, awesome. I'm glad you guys had me on. This was neat. I know Kirby, Jonny, and I were kind of talking about all these like different things that were going on in the background as far as kind of getting stuff ready to launch. And like we said earlier, you'll be seeing a lot more like promotional stuff, like actual promotional stuff like happening. I guess it's technically that second week of August 9th. You'll kind of see all that start to really kick off.
And hopefully we'll be able to have codes that we can give to people to kind of entice them for like a month's free trial.
Yes, that would be good.
I mean, most services would have that. That's
an interesting thing, right? Because like we can kind of, this is all new stuff, but yeah, in the future, that's definitely a possibility, I can say. And we can do that now because it's kind of e-commerce, right?
If you go through the checkout thing, there is actually a tab for a coupon code. So it seems like it is built in there.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like before, we can't really do that with SolidWorks 3D CAD today. But yeah, there's kind of a cool option to do that kind of thing now with it being like actual e-commerce stuff. Like there's like with the Maker Edition, there's the e-commerce aspect, and it kind of started off with DirectSite, right? Like DirectSite was the first like product that we kind of went e-commerce with, just to make it kind of more accessible, more streamlined everything. But this has kind of followed suit. And Eric, yeah, the site's definitely available, and it's intentionally available. So even if you wanted to share it now, absolutely feel free.
I mean, Eric's asking, is it okay to share? Is it okay to tweet and share that August 9th is launch date? We'll keep a lid on it for now. I mean, this is live, so anybody would.
Yeah, I would just say generally, like I think probably that week. That's how I would just say, like, you'll probably see much more promotional activity that week. And that's just that Monday. So that's why I was saying that. But even now, like, if you wanted to share the link or whatever, I think the biggest difference you would probably see, like, as you know, if you're someone that's looking to use the product, is you would just see more buzz around it because there's more planned activity to talk about it. But as far as, like, if you have the site and you just wanted to get it now, you know, if you're interested in it, obviously, there's no difference between now and then. Like, you can get it now, get it later, if of course you want it.
It's just when SolidWorks is going to officially push it. Yeah,
right. It's just that's when, like, exactly, Kirby.
So I mean, I guess, Eric, you can just share it with people now, saying if they wanted, they could grab it now.
It's funny that stuff, like, you know, again, like, getting back to the original comment about how we talk about, like, soft launch, rolling launch, stuff like that. It almost kind of it can give a sense that, like, the site's just out there and it's not supposed to be. You go tell the web team to take it down. But no, it's just there just for now, just kind of loosely, and it's intentionally so.
Cool. So hopefully you can get a couple of new signups this week. I know most of the people that's hanging out with us tonight already have some form of SolidWorks, but I know Brandon might jump in there.
Yeah, definitely. Brandon will be straight on it, I hope.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be phoning me every other day asking me how to do things.
Nice.
You'll be Brandon's maker support community.
Yeah. Exactly. I'll be his support. Help me with computer support.
No, he'll have to wait 2 weeks for the next stream to ask all of his questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get an hourly slot every other Monday.
That's funny. Yeah, office hours.
Yep.
But yeah. Let me just close with this little image that I made quickly. Yeah. Why is it?
Oh no! What is going on?
Oh no!
There we go.
Nice.
Oh no! It's official. Yeah. You were able to convince Eminem to do that pretty quickly. I don't know who your connections are, Kirby, but that was pretty good.
That's me. I'm pretty swift with with Photoshop. You know.
I know. I didn't even catch that. I didn't have for an instance, you know, even like this idea that you weren't listening fully.
Oh no,
Kirby never does that. Never ever doesn't listen properly. It's never happened before.
You should see how many times I'm in meetings playing Minecraft at the same time.
Honestly, yeah. You ring Kirby,
know.
right? You have a meeting with him, and you can hear him clicking away in the background. You're like, dude, please, 5 minutes of attention.
Yeah, just 5 minutes. That's it. No, that was good.
I'm glad you enjoyed that. Where is... So yeah, the link's there. Link's down in the description as well. If you want to go and check out SolidWorks for Makers now, it is available now. It hasn't been officially launched, but it is launched. So if you want to check it out,
they're just not pushing it. How hard is it?
Yeah, SolidWorks isn't promoting it yet, but they will be. But if you want to grab it now, it's there. Thank you for everybody that's joined us tonight. Let me get our little.
It's been good fun.
Yeah, guys. Thank you so much.
There it is. I need to remove the banner. If you want to follow me, I am at KJ Designs 365.
And if you want to follow me, at Kessel Run Creations.
If you want to follow the podcast to see when we go live next, on Instagram, we are at the core podcast.contact. On Facebook, we are at the core podcast with O is a 0. On Twitter, we are at the _ core podcast. And on here, YouTube, we are the core podcast. So please do like and subscribe, hit that bell notification to see when we go live. It'll be in 2 weeks' time. Every second week, Monday, 8 p.m. British Standard Time. I nailed that.
Yeah, that was really impressive.
Get better at it.
Yeah, getting much better at it. Oh yeah, I made a. Ta-da.
Hey, there we go.
It's an album cover.
Look at that beard, man.
You just took the one we did for Dan and cut him off the bottom, didn't you?
That's really good.
Nice. Love it.
Yeah. No, it's been fun, Sean. Where can people follow you? I know you're a ghost.
Nah. I try to focus. The thing is, like, I just feel like there was so many like social platforms and I just had too many accounts, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna have a LinkedIn. So you guys can just look me up on LinkedIn, send me a connection request if you want to stay connected and stuff. Always like it when I see champions sending requests just to kind of stay in the loop and everything on the outside world too.
That's fantastic. And if anyone wants to check out the champions program as well, I'll put a link in the description as well. If you want to be a part of that, if you want to get yourself Maker's Edition of SolidWorks, which is $99 a month, same price as a standard Netflix subscription. It's cheaper than Photoshop. It's cheaper than Microsoft Office. It's a done deal. What happened to Service Pack, Sean?
It's gone. Service Pack, Sean.
No, Service Pack M&M.
Yeah. No, I used to have, just for background, I used to have a Twitter account, Service Pack Sean, but that was before, like, again, like the Champions program and everything. Like I feel like that's its own social network. So I just try to like keep like very focused on it. So I got rid of the Twitter. It might come back though.
Might make an
Brandon
appearance.
says, I think Brandon's trying to do a purchase now. It only gives you the yearly option.
Subscription, Sean. That would be a really, really funny name. Let's see. So we have.
We'll troubleshoot this one live.
Yeah. Let me
Because
see.
it's from the South Africa.
Really? Let's see.
Solid model and chill. We should do that, Johnny. Get really, really pissed and make some.
I got the sofa for it.
What, to sleep?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the football, Johnny? Soccer.
Yeah, I
usual.
enjoyed it, dude. I enjoyed it.
And
You know,
other American friends, soccer.
for our American friends, soccer.
I think the monthly, and it was there. I think it's probably, we might have just called it a funny time that's being worked on. But I see this I see the same thing right now. The intention though is that there would be monthly and yearly. I think the pain's just not showing up on the site for whatever reason. But hey, maybe that's why you do a soft launch real quick before you do the main main promo. But probably. We all know how it goes. Like sometimes like you'll have like a developer, like a web person, and kind of make a change. I've done this before, where like it'll be like an e-commerce thing. Like I used to have a job. I know we're closing it, but I used to have a job doing like e-commerce for like 3D printed consumables for a time. It was kind of like part of my job because it was this really small company.
Yeah.
And I would make changes to the store and then like everything would get screwed up. And I'd be like, oh man, I hope no one's looking at this.
No one's checking out right now.
Yeah, I hope no one's checking out right now. And like, you know, the worst thing you could do is you can add like a 9 to like the end of a price or something and make, you know, a printer cartridge, like add a 0 or something stupid like that.
One too many zeros.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
like,
some guys like, it's a good price. Beep.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they're right. It's like on your end, it's like remove a 0 and like kind of screw yourself over. But no, that should be good eye. I think that's probably that probably needs to be fixed. But I don't know what's going on this site, but it'll be. But if you check back later, it'll probably be fine.
I keep an eye on it. Hopefully.
Oh damn! Eric is literally burning Sean.
Not a
Sunburn. I don't know. I think I might have sunburn. You know what? I think it is. I don't know if you guys noticed from the Champions thing. I actually
you're no longer blue.
Yeah, like I think so. I have a Logitech T920, and I think
Sponsorship.
No, I had this. I bought this like 4 years ago. I got it for like $35 4 years ago. It's an awesome webcam. I love it, but I think it might be. Yeah, I know. I'm still plugging it. I think it might be doing this weird color adjustment thing with me.
It might be also the white shirt and the black cap. And
that's the thing. This is like a pink shirt. I think it's like the coloring's all weird. Like, this is a pink shirt. I think it might also be because I changed the lighting. I'm still trying to figure it out. I kind of look like I was just at the beach though.
Yeah, there's worse things to look like. You're making us look You've made us look very white.
I think it really is. I have a ring light over here, and I have it on like that orangey setting, so I think I just need to stop
I've got
doing
one
it.
too. I just look pale. Like I
Yeah,
haven't seen the sun in weeks.
he's
I
made the
haven't-
English look extremely white.
Well, it's funny because I'm actually, like you guys know, like I have much like kind of lighter skin. I think it's just the C920 and the lighting is just like making me look different.
Yeah, you just got to redo your white balance.
Oh, damn, Eric.
All right, I gotta get out of here.
Wow.
We can't put that one up, Bob. Can't.
No, he's just throwing shade.
I'm just getting roasted.
It's fine. That's probably why you're going more red.
Yeah.
You could probably check to see if like earlier on, like I was, like maybe my face is getting red. Making me do some gymnastics in here.
That's the best comment we've ever had, Kirby.
That's great. Thank you for that, Eric. That's
Yeah, thanks for that gem.
that little ruby.
um,
But yeah, it's been good fun tonight, Sean, hanging out.
Yeah, always good to catch up.
I hope everybody
absolutely.
in the chat. I hope everybody in the chat's been having fun. I hope people have learned something about SolidWorks Maker Edition and people are excited for it. And hopefully it becomes the next big thing since sliced bread.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be cool. Definitely, even if you're not in the Champions program or whatever, check into that Made in 3D community. I'm excited to kind of see the conversation in there.
Yes. I'll put all the links down in the description if anyone wants to check it out. It's been an excellent episode tonight.
I agree. Thank you, guys.
Again.
Awesome.
Thanks for stopping
you,
by,
everybody.
Sean.
Thank you,
everybody
guys.
for joining us tonight as well. It's been good fun. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Awesome. Take care.
He
He left quick. I got to shoot off, to be fair, but